Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Coin Lady channel. I have 3 tales to tell you. This headline, for example. Fair notice may be a stronger defense for Coinbase than it is for Ripple. Not exactly what Deaton meant to say. I'll explain the background, but it comes down to the possibility that Coinbase will benefit from Ripple's success with their fair notice defense. As a result, the headlines are misleading. Putting that aside, however, attorney Deaton is launching a new crypto-related venture and needs your assistance. This is the lead story from the Crypto Basic Pro XRP attorney. Over 2,000 alerts to Congress about SEC overreach are being sent out as part of a new campaign. And, by the way, who else besides Solicitor John Deaton is a better fighter in the crypto space? Is that the case? Simply put, I don't believe the answer to be yes. He has, in my opinion, reached superhuman levels, which is why I have previously stated that, were I Solicitor John Deaton, I would go around all day long wearing a cape. An SEC response to the supplemental authorities has been submitted. That's probably the name given to it in the SEC versus Ripple case. Ripple's lawyers cited some other cases, but the SEC is not impressed. And I'll tell you what the horse-pucky and hoo-ha nonsense is that they are saying. But there is something I need to clarify before we go any further. I come from no financial or legal background. I am not qualified to give you financial or legal counsel. And you should not make any financial decisions based on anything I write or say. I'm just a fan who occasionally posts videos to YouTube about crypto-related subjects for kicks. Also, I heard back from lawyers Jeremy Hogan and Bill Morgan in addition to John Deaton on this. Okay, then, let's get down to business. This headline about Coinbase and the fair notice defense, then, has already made the necessary rectifications. But let's get right to the meat of what attorney Deaton was saying. The following is a tweet he sent out. The level of the fair notice defense has been raised even further in the SEC versus Coinbase case. Conspicuous disclosure, 2nd edition. The fair notice defense is not at issue unless Judge TORRES concludes that Ripple offered and sold XRP as an investment contract between 2013 and 2017, or at any time thereafter. To reiterate, we hope that Judge TORRES does not have to rule on the fair notice defense. If she does, it will mean that she has concluded that there is an issue with the manner in which XRP was sold. I'm hoping there is no way to respond to this question. However, one can never say for sure. Perhaps Ripple can still move forward with the fair notice defense even if that occurs. There may yet be an announcement made about secondary market transactions. To be continued. However, this is not a concern that XRP investors would expect to be addressed. Know that if that is dealt with, something has gone wrong at Ripple, which could be unfavorable for XRP investors. And then Ripple's lawyer, Deaton, says the crypto fair notice will be determined by a jury if she agrees with Ripple that a jury must decide whether Ripple received fair notice, or by a ruling of law that no reasonable jury could conclude Ripple did. Coinbase will be in a comfortable position thanks to the formidable defense. That settles it then. Defense is preferable to Coinbase, which is not saying much. If this were to happen, it would set a precedent, and Coinbase would be in a very strong position. Meanwhile, the Crypto Basic Pro XRP lawyer has this to say in his or her headline. Over 2,000 messages have been sent as part of a new campaign to warn lawmakers about SEC overreach. And he's discussing his most recent effort to establish a line of communication with Congress. He has been in contact with Congress in real time for some time, and he has been actively encouraging the crypto community, and the XRP community in particular, to spread the word that Americans should voice their displeasure to their local representatives. And it has worked very well. In light of recent events, however, and especially in light of the SEC's advocacy for action against Coinbase in anticipation of a lawsuit, it is clear that the SEC no longer holds this view. John Deaton, as I'm sure you're all aware by now, has launched a new campaign to fight back even more forcefully and effectively. And now he's acting on that. And so he tweeted the following, and I can find the first one from March 23 right here in front of me. He directed me to open the Crypto Laws and Congress app. I've pre-written a message that, once you input your address, will be sent to both of your senators and your representative. Let them know you're done with this. Only 30 seconds are needed. Then he gave me a link to that page. To continue. To continue. To continue. The speed with which things developed led him to write a brief update, which is quite impressive. This is why lawyer Deaton wrote a book called Connect to Congress. Update. More than half of the 785 advocates who have sent messages through the Connect to Congress app so far are doing so for the first time, thanks to the response to a single tweet earlier today. Every one of the 350 congressional offices has been contacted. The letter is already composed. And the whole thing is finished in a minute. Having your opinions heard is as simple as this. Tell them they've crossed a line. Yeah. And by the way, you can always alter the message to suit your needs. This is a completely natural progression, though. Most people will never in their lives take the time to write to Congress, and I'm not exaggerating. It's one of those times when the person who complains the loudest wins. So even if we're crypto people interested in crypto, and even if only a small percentage of people who are interested in crypto actually do this, it's still worth doing. This, believe me, is the key to fame. Your presence will be detected. Thus, the existence of this crypto community is extremely significant, as are the many members of the XRP community. Don't pretend like your voice isn't hurting you. It has far-reaching implications. That's just the way it goes sometimes. The proverbial squeaky wheel gets the oil is true. Oh, okay, I guess that settles it. So, yeah. So SEC Ripple. The SEC has finally answered Ripple's supplemental authority letters. Indeed, that's what we learned yesterday afternoon. Here's the latest from XRP community solicitor James Fallen. He stated that the SEC's response to the Ripple defendants' letters requesting supplemental authority based on the Bitna and Voyager cases had been filed. And I've already talked about those instances in pretty great detail, so I won't be discussing them here. However, it is important to realize that Ripple has faith in the court and that its decisions in prior cases will have an effect. In reference to the ruling in SEC versus Ripple by Judge TORRES. This is the core issue at hand in both of those court cases. And so, after retweeting that, lawyer Jeremy Hogan looked into it, reached out to that, and wrote, the SEC finally replies to Ripple's supplemental authority. They must have other things to do. I'll pause for a moment to add that. Like you, I was wondering about that. Yes, that's how I felt, and I wasn't alone. But nobody seems to be replying. Do they simply not give a damn anymore? Finally, Attorney Hogan says that while it makes some good points about the Bitna case, it tries to argue with a smug bull smiley face that the Voyager judge did not say that the crypto space faces glaring uncertainty. This response somewhat nullifies the Bitna decision, and I think both cases are bad for the SEC. It softens the blow of the Voyager judge's decision a little, but only a little. However, this is all standard fair notice defense jargon, and it's only appropriate if we've reached this stage. Consequently, I really hope that doesn't happen. Not that XRP holders want to go to the Supreme Court, but let's not forget the language favorable to Ripple's fair notice defense in Bitna came from Judge Gorsuch, who used to work under Michael Kellogg at Kellogg's firm, who orchestrated Ripple's fair notice defense in brief, as tweeted by attorney John Deaton. I hadn't heard that nugget of information until he revealed it in an interview with Alina Fox of the Business Network. So, I assume it was a few days ago when he mentioned that and said, that's an interesting connection there. A Fox Business journalist named Alina Turret retweeted a snippet from an attorney's filing, which reads as follows. Okay, so the SEC has issued this. In an effort to bolster their doomed fair notice defense, the defendants in the Voyager bankruptcy case dishonestly mischaracterized the court's statements and lifted convenient phrases out of context. Okay, I guess that makes sense. But even if that were true, Judge Torres possesses the original decisions and can and will read them in their entirety. Yes, she will be aware. Of course, it's only the jerks at the SEC, of course. When referring to anyone other than himself or his fellow SEC colleagues, attorney John Deaton wrote George, a reference to George Tenrero, another SEC attorney working on this case. Co-workers is a cute term. Oh, yes. This is the cutest thing ever. Okay, then. And he tweeted, check out the last paragraph, referring to the original tweet. I've never heard the SEC make a case in favor of direct Ripple sales to public investors before. Since May 2020, 100% of Ripple sales have been to on-demand liquidity customers who are not investors because they use it for payments rather than long-term storage. I can honestly say that this is a first for me. The community at large also takes note of this. There's a display for it. Even though they discussed XRP sales to the general public, I see no reason to read it. Unless I'm totally blanking, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Because everything has been so focused on the nebulousness of the embodiment theory, and how anything XRP touches is a securities violation. So, there you have it. Embodiment theory, if you will. It personifies the safety and guarantees that Ripple claims to offer. But now they are bringing up the idea of selling XRP to the general public as an investment. In any case, please share your thoughts with me. No, I don't give out financial advice. Nothing I say or write should be used as a basis for making any kind of financial transaction. In the end, please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.